20 must-own fragrances for a killer collection. No matter if you are starting out or if you have some fragrances already, the fragrances in this video are the backbone of any respectable collection. Most of these will have one or more flankers. Mix and match as you please, really. I myself took the liberty to include some flankers simply because I like the flanker better than the original. Also, I only chose fragrances I personally wear. If at any point during this video you disagree, please leave me a comment and tell me which ones you would choose for this list. All the fragrances in this video are heavy hitters, so there is no ranking system in place or whatever, just pure awesomeness. Let's start off with two fragrances from Dior, and I picked two Sauvages. First one is going to be the 2018 Sauvage Eau de Parfum. I like this one a little bit better than I do the Eau de Toilette. You know, it has some pepper in it and some ambroxan, and it's just not quite as loud as the Eau de Toilette. This is my favorite one, and I like wearing this one. If you want a little bit of a melancholy vibe to treat yourself, then I would add the Sauvage, the Elixir, to it. This one right here is 2021. It actually won an award, 2022 Fragrance Foundation for most luxurious fragrance. It's a really beautiful fragrance, sort of melancholy a little bit. And it has a touch of licorice. Powerhouse fragrance right here. I mean, it comes in a smaller bottle like this right here, about 160 bucks or so. But you only need 2 sprays. This thing will last all day. It's a beautiful fragrance, and I think it should be in your collection just because of its uniqueness. And if you like a little bit of a melancholy vibe, this one is a really, really nice one. Originally, I had the Dior Homme in this list, which is, you know, not the 2020, but the original one with the iris. Unfortunately, they're harder to come by. You have to buy them on eBay and what have you, stuff like that. And they're selling for upwards of $300. They're just not that easy to get anymore. So I didn't put it in here. If you can find the Dior Homme, the original with the iris note, or the Dior Homme Intense, I mean, they're really beautiful fragrances. And it'd be nice to have it in a killer fragrance collection. However, nowadays, you know, since you can't get them anymore, there are other iris fragrances that are going to have to take their place. And I'll have one for you later with the note of iris in it. But upwards of $300 for something that you used to be able to get for, you know, regular retail, you know, as a designer fragrance, I just don't know. You know, you have to make that decision for yourself. Let's move on to another awesome fragrance I think should be in a killer collection. Versace Eros. Just like Sauvage, I'd go straight to the Eau de Parfum. Candy, apple, mint. I mean, can you say party, anyone? It's a great performer, lasts all night, it's great party fragrance, great for going out, a little bit on the younger side for younger people, but I think it definitely should be in your collection, one of the Versaces. Now, of course, you could go with the Flame or the Parfum or the EDT for that matter, and you'll be perfectly fine. I just particularly like this one. I think I like it the best out of all of them. The Flame's pretty good too. So, but you gotta have an Eros in your collection if you want to have a killer collection. Now, same with Jean Paul Gaultier. I think anyone should have a Jean Paul Gaultier in their collection, whether it's the original Le Male or, you know, the new Elixir. I don't have the new Elixir yet, but as soon as that one comes out, I'm gonna snag a bottle and then we'll see whether it'll beat this one right here. This is the Le Parfum. It's a 2020. If you like sweeter fragrance in the style of Le Male, this is a fabulous scent. It's sort of sweet, oriental seduction in the style of a grown-up Le Male from the 90s. And like I said, once I get a hold of the Elixir, it's not out in the US yet. I'm getting ready to travel to Europe. Maybe I'll snag a bottle there. But as soon as I have it, we'll go over it and see if it'll beat this Le Parfum. Absolutely love this one. Should be in your collection. Another Eau de Parfum choice that I think should be in a killer collection is one from Dolce Gabbana. And is, of course, the one. I personally really adore the Eau de Parfum edition of this one. You can get the original one and it's still very good. I just like the Eau de Parfum a little bit better. There's a slew of them out there. You can buy, you know, Luminous Night, etc., etc. There's a bunch of them. But really, this is going to be the easiest choice out of all of them. If you don't really know which one to get or you don't have access to all of the other ones to try them, then just go ahead and get this one. You'll get the general sense, and I think it should be in your collection. It's a really good fragrance, and it always will be. It's a classic, and it should be in any killer collection. My next three are from Chanel. The first one out of the three is going to be Platinum Egoist. This is spicy goodness. It's green. It is from the 90s. Can you believe that? It's still out there. You can still wear it. It spawned fragrances like Abercrombie and Fitch's Fears. It's Mont Blanc Legend. Lots of people have sort of copied this DNA because it is absolutely fabulous in green. And it should be in anybody's killer collection of fragrances. Yeah, that's Platinum Egoist from 1993, I think it was. Such a good fragrance. Perfect in the heat in the summer. Really nice. Of course, the next one is going to be a Bleu de Chanel. I personally like them all. I like the EDT when it's hot outside. I like the EDP when it's kind of a little cooler. And then sometimes I like to wear the Parfum in the evening. Now, a lot of people say that the Bleu de Chanel, is overdone, overworn. I don't think so. This is sort of a timeless fragrance. You can wear this at any point and smell absolutely fabulous. I never regret spraying this on in the morning. So this is the Eau de Parfum. It's my preferred choice for a killer fragrance collection. That's Chanel or Bleu de Chanel, and that's the Eau de Parfum. Plus, what you get with this one, you get the best of both worlds. It's not as light as the EDT and not as heavy as the Parfum. So just go in the middle. The third choice that I have from Chanel is really a beautiful creamy fragrance. I absolutely love it. It is going to be Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. This one right here. There's also, many different iterations of this one. There's, Allure Homme Sport or Allure Homme the original. While they're all really good, I really like this one if you just had to go out and get one for a killer selection. It's fresh, sweet, it's seductive. It has decent longevity, as to be expected from Chanel. It's a beautiful fragrance. You can wear this one at any point. It is a great seller. People love this one all over the world. That's Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme for a killer collection. Any killer collection should have a La Nuit de l'Homme from YSL, which is this one right here. It doesn't really matter which year you get. I mean, obviously the older ones are going to last a little bit better than the new ones, but this is a beautiful cardamom fragrance that you just cannot go without in your collection. You should have this one, absolutely. What I do is I wear this one in the evenings and I wear the L'Homme during the day, and it makes a perfect day for me for work and during the day, and then in the evenings if I go out for dinner, I'll wear this one. It's a perfect sort of couple of fragrances that work real well together. Beautiful cardamom. You gotta have this classic in your collection. Now, newer batches of this one, of course, people say they don't last as long. So, what I say is just keep on spraying. Absolutely a gorgeous fragrance. You have to have these in your collection. Just like YSL La Nuit de l'Homme, there's another one, and that's from Prada. I think Prada also has a lot of fragrances that are just really, really good. But for the sake of this video, I just picked one that I think you must have for a killer collection. It's Prada L'Homme 2016. This is the first one, the original, with that kind of scent profile. It's clean, it's perfect for work, and it's just an absolutely gorgeous scent. Now, you can get whichever one you can find. You can get the Prada L'Homme Low. You can get the Intense if you can find it. They don't make it anymore, but if you can find it, it's also very, very beautiful. Or the Absolute. Any of them are actually really good. Now, you can find this one still. It's readily available. The other ones are a little bit harder to find. So that's why I just picked this one. It's a scent profile that I think you need to have in your collection to make it a killer collection. Now, not only do I think you need to have these for a killer collection, I think everyone should have a aquatic fragrance in their collection. The one that I chose for this one, it's a perfect sort of fragrance you can wear. It's been around for a while. You can wear, to a summer vacation or something like that. It is going to be an Acqua di Gio, and this is going to be the Profondo. What I like about this one, of course, you can go with the Profumo or the brand new one. All of them smell sort of similar, but I think this is going to be the most versatile one out of the line. If you just want to grab one and be absolutely perfectly done, Get the Profundo. It's a perfect aquatic fragrance you can wear and smell absolutely great anywhere you go. It's an Acqua di Gio is a must-have in any killer collection. But you know what else would be beautiful? For you to hit the like and subscribe. If you're getting anything out of this at all, I would love to have you on board. Remember, our journey starts with but one single scent. The next three, their scent profiles are so exceptional that you need to have them in your collection if you want to have a killer fragrance collection. As a bonus for you guys out there, I also included some alternatives because we're gonna go a little bit more expensive with similar scent profiles for you guys out there who are a little bit more price conscious. The first one I picked is a 2010 fragrance, and it is a Ventus from the House of Creed. Many of you know this one already. It's a bergamot, pineapple, and some ambergris. It's really a killer fragrance, and it belongs in a killer collection, I think. Of course, you could go with alternatives from the House of Creed. You could go with Green Irish Tweed or Millesime Imperial, all great choices. But this one right here has really spawned a whole bunch of smell-alikes, and it is really a great scent profile that I still enjoy wearing. But if you pick something else from the House of Creed, like Millesime Imperial or Green Irish Tweed, I don't think anybody would raise their brow. However, I picked this one because of the name recognition and the slew of, clones or smell-alikes it has spawned. Aventus is a true icon in the fragrance world. Now, here is your alternative. So alternatively, you could wear, there is a whole bunch of smell-alikes out there, but alternatively, you could wear, or at least this is my choice, Mont Blanc Explorer. So this is the alternative, and you can get this one nowadays for a really good price if you want to have that sort of Creed experience, if you don't want to, spend the $400 or whatever Aventus costs nowadays. The next higher price collection choice, in my opinion, is going to be Xerjoff's Naxos 2015. This one right here. It's a beautiful fragrance. It's got some honey, some tobacco, and a bit of freshness to kind of level up your game. It's stellar performance with the most of them that you get from, Xerjoff. It's a beautiful house, beautiful fragrances. Really like that. It's a masculine fragrance. Absolutely gorgeous. As far as, alternatives to this one, I think what you could do is you could get the one from Dua, I think it's the place is called. They make sort of fragrance inspired. This one is called Fortune, or something like that. I've had this one a while. It's already changed colors. It still smells great, as far as I can tell. I haven't sprayed it in a while, but it is inspired by Naxos if you want to save yourself a couple of bucks. I'm not really a big fan of clones, but this one is, not perfect, but it's acceptable if you want to save yourself some money and get close to Naxos from Xerjoff. Yeah, I always encourage you to get the real one because it's the real one. Simple as that. Now, Parfums de Marly also has a wonderful fragrance that I think deserves a spot on a killer fragrance list. Yeah, and it is going to be the 2016 fragrance called Layton. They also have a Layton exclusive, but I think that you should go with the original one if you don't have any of the Parfums de Marly. I think this one is probably their best seller. It's an exquisite fragrance. It is fresh and it has a luxurious touch. It's really wonderful. Yeah, Layton. You can wear this one anytime. Anybody can wear this. It's a beautiful fragrance. Layton from Parfums de Marly, I think, deserves a spot in this killer fragrance collection list. Yeah, alternatively to this one, because it also is going to be a little bit up in price, you can go with one from Lalique. And this one came up fairly recently, and it is white in black. And this one is going to have a very similar sort of scent profile. It will remind you of Layton, although this one is going to have a little bit more of a spicy touch to it. If you don't want to do Layton for a few $100s, get Lalique's white and black. You save yourself a whole bunch of money, and this one kind of reminds you of that one. It's not a clone, but it'll get you a similar sort of wearing profile. Another fragrance brand that I think, here we are back at Designers. We're done with the more expensive ones. Yeah, I just wanted to give you three that I think really are beautiful and should be in any kind of, killer collection. Got to have a couple of niche in there. I think you do. But Guerlain is another brand with a ton of amazing fragrances. I mean, there's just choices upon choices. So it was really difficult for me from Guerlain to pick one fragrance that sort of will soothe everybody, you know, because they have a lot of classic older ones that are fabulous and they're constantly coming out with new ones. So here's the one that I thought that most people, no matter what your age, no matter what your creed, you could wear. This is my choice for a killer collection, and it is the L'Homme Idéal Eau de Parfum 2016. I think out of all of them, if you get this one, you get the sense of what Guerlain is all about. It is a beautifully composed fragrance. It's a creamy cherry vanilla with a little bit of almond, with enough depth from the leather to keep this one masculine. It's a beautiful fragrance, simply beautiful and classy, and I think this one deserves a spot in a killer fragrance collection. Guerlain Eau de Parfum 2016 L'Homme Idéal. They have a bunch of different ones. All of them are great. But if you just want to get one, this one is still readily available. Then you go with the Eau de Parfum L'Homme Idéal. It's a good one. Earlier we had a Lalique fragrance that you could wear instead of Layton. But I do have another Lalique that I think deserves a spot in your collection, for a killer collection, and that's a 2006 Encre Noir from Lalique, created by Nathalie Larson. It's the original one. This one right here is sort of a woody aromatic with a good dose of moist moss in sort of a modern hotel lobby kind of way. I mean, it's a wonderful scent. It has a couple of other iterations, à l'extrême, and I think it has a sport version. They're all really good. So, you know, get it and just spray on. And I think at this point you can get these for a really good price. Absolutely worth it. And that's Lalique Encre Noir. Deserves a spot in a killer collection. Now I'll have to back up to Dior for a minute. We forgot one that we absolutely need to put in this list. It's a 1966. It is Eau Sauvage from Edmund Rudnitska. And it is this barbershop beauty right here. An absolute gorgeous scent that it needs to be in a killer fragrance collection because everybody needs to have a classic older fragrance. And then this one would be my choice. It's absolutely gorgeous. Younger guys, you might not be able to pull this off too much unless you have a really classy style, but I promise you it is worth having. It's a good fragrance created in 1966 by Edmund Rudnitska. It's a beautiful barbershop fragrance that has still, I think, a contemporary twist to it. You can wear this one and absolutely smells stellar. And that's 1966. Deserves a spot on a killer fragrance collection shelf. And another classic that I think deserves a spot is a 1994 fragrance, and it is by Issey Miyake, L'Eau de Pour Homme. This is a tart summer gem with the note of yuzu. I mean, it's a perfect one for the high summer heat. Came out a long time ago, 1994. Absolutely gorgeous scent. Beat the summer heat with L'Eau de Pour Homme. This one is it's a timeless fragrance. It will always be good. It still sells like crazy. It's a true statement right here. It's a true statement to its timeless nature. 1994 still sells great. It's an all-time Hall of Fame winner. L'Eau de Pour Homme by Issey Miyake with the note of yuzu. Beautiful fragrance. Love wearing this one in the high heat. I also think that Givenchy, the Gentleman line, deserves a spot in our killer fragrance collection list. Once again, I am at a crossroad. Which one do we pick out of the slew of pristine fragrances? I mean, lots of them are really, really amazing. And which one do we pick for this pristine spot? So earlier I mentioned that we had, the Dior Homme Dilemma. Fantastic iris fragrance. But I decided against it because it's no longer available. And I promised you that I would have an iris fragrance for you later on that deserves to be in this spot. And this one is a relatively new one out of the Gentleman line. It came out in 2022, and it is a perfect sort of melt of all the beautiful notes in the Gentleman line that is adored by many. And it is the Gentleman Givenchy, and it is the Reserve Privé. It came out in 2022. It's a warm chestnut with a beautiful note of iris and a touch of whiskey. To finish off this awesome collection, let's add Tom Ford's Ombre Leather from 2018. It is one of the best, bar none, leather fragrances for any occasion. This one right here. Tom Ford Ombre Leather. Any occasion, any age, it is simply awesome. It's a beautiful leather fragrance. I love wearing this one, and you just never get tired of it. Ombre Leather by Tom Ford is the final piece to an amazing fragrance collection. Let me know how I did. Let me know in the comments. All I know is I had fun spending time with you. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe for more fragrance content. Yeah, I'd love to have you on board. Until next time, I want you to take good care of yourself. Always smell nice, and I will talk to you soon.